My husband and I got married in February of 1994, and we got pregnant 1 month later. 1 month. Literally, we got married February 18th, and our daughter was born on Christmas Day. That pregnancy led to our very first disagreement that we could not solve through a compromise. You see, I was pro foreskin. My husband was anti-foreskin, and the disagreement continued up until the point that we had an ultrasound and found out it was a girl, and then we stopped talking about it. And then 2 years later, we conceived again, and I said, I don't want to know what this baby is because I don't want to have this fight. Let's just, settle for fighting about names. And we went all the way up to 34 weeks. I had some complications and ended up in the hospital. And the doctor did an ultrasound, and the first thing she says is, your son. And we could both clearly see that, yes, it was our son. And my husband looked at me, and we knew the fight's about to start again. So from that point up until the day our son was born, we could not come to an agreement on whether or not he would keep his foreskin. And it went all the way up until the day after he was born, actually. And the nurse walked in the room and said, the pediatrician is here right now, and he's only going to be here for a few more minutes. Do you want to have the circumcision or not? And she had a form for us to sign, and I instantly said no. And my husband said, I think we need to discuss this. And we actually had some visitors in the room who were just laughing that this discussion was actually happening in front of them. The nurse walked out, and my husband said, so what are we going to do about this? And I said, okay, look, I just pushed out your 9.5-pound kid. I think I get a say-so in this. And in fact, I don't think I said I get a say-so. I said, I think I get my way in this. And he said, but he's my son. He's my first son. And I said, okay, let's do what we do in all situations. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. And literally, we are those people. We have flipped coins to decide which house we were going to buy, and we have literally drawn straws to see, who's going to go see if somebody just broke into our house or not. Literally, that's how we solve things. So we play rock, paper, scissors. We do 1, 2, 3, and I do, and he goes. And whoever made up this stupid rule, the paper covers rock, clearly has never laid a piece of paper on top of a rock outside, because the slightest little breeze is going to blow that paper right off of that rock. But I lost. So being the good sport that I am, I looked at him and said, okay, best 2 out of 3. I'm not going to tell you what happened, because I promised my son that I would not discuss whether or not his foreskin was still intact. He's 16, and I would just kind of, eat him up. But the nurse came back in, and we have guests sitting in the room who are about to peel themselves because they're laughing so hard already. And she says, so, what's it going to be? And we tell her the answer, and she says, so how'd you decide? And we said, because she had been around us a little bit, and she kind of knew that we just weren't your typical new parents. And we said, we played rock, paper, scissors, and it was best 2 out of 3. And anyway, I'm telling you that story. We all fell out on the floor laughing at that point, but, and it's still kind of funny. My son was horrified when he learned that, the condition of his penis was determined by a game of rock, paper, scissors. I'm telling you the story, though, because I opened up my Bible last week. I'm trying to read through the New Testament right now, and I read Acts 1, and it's the story of the ascension. Jesus is with the apostles, and he ascends, and then Peter tells everybody that, hey, prophecy was fulfilled, Judas had to betray Jesus, now we've got to replace Judas, because also prophecy said that Jesus was going to die, and the way he died was just kind of, he falls out in a field, and he splits open, and his intestines spill out. Boys love the story. Go read it. Read it to your kids. They'll love it. And then he says this. And I'm going to read the Message version because it's just kind of colorful. Judas must now be replaced. The replacement must come from the company of men who stayed together with us from the time Jesus was baptized by John up to the day of his ascension. Designated along with us as a witness to his resurrection, they nominated 2, Joseph Barsabas, nicknamed Justus, and Matthias. Then they prayed, you, O God, know every one of us inside and out. Make plain which one of these 2 men you choose to take the place in this ministry and leadership that Jesus threw away in order to go his own way. They then drew straws. Matthias won and was counted in with the 11 apostles. They then drew straws. Did you get that? The 12th apostle was chosen by drawing straws. I know some translations say they cast lots, but in my mind they played paper, scissors, or flipped a coin, and Message version says that they drew straws, which is just kind of cool because it happened that Matthias became an apostle by a game of chance, but it wasn't really a game of chance. You see, my son is my son, whether or not he has a foreskin. It wasn't really a game of chance. Matthias became an apostle because he met that condition, that significant condition, that the replacement had to come from the company of men who stayed together with the apostles from the time that Jesus was baptized and witnessed the resurrection. And Matthias was chosen, his name was in the hat, because he was present. He stayed near to Jesus. And I don't know about you, but when significant things are going to happen for the kingdom of God, I want my name